Hey there, welcome to the Castillo de San Marcos, a timeless sentinel standing proud on the Florida coast. This place has seen it all, from battles to peaceful times, and it's got some amazing stories to tell. Standing guard for over 3 centuries, the Castillo de San Marcos is a fortress that has witnessed the decline and flow of time. Built by the Spanish in the late 1600s, it has withstood blockades, hurricanes, and the relentless march of time. Think about it. How many buildings from the 1600s have you actually walked through? Here you can touch the same stones that soldiers and settlers did centuries ago. The Castillo has seen it all. From the Spanish to the British, and then the Americans, it has been a silent witness to the changing tides of history. Wars, empires rising and falling, even a pirate or two. Intrigued? Good. The fort's walls have stories to tell. Tales of bravery, conflict, and survival. Let's dive in and explore its rich history together. Each mark, each engraving, is a chapter of St. Augustine's past. Join us as we uncover the legacy of the Castillo de San Marcos, a timeless sentinel on the Florida coast. So, picture this. 1672. Europeans are scrambling for a slice of the New World. Florida is a strategic prize. Spain, struggling to protect its shipping lanes and its claim on this land, decides it needs a stronghold. They built the Castillo de San Marcos. And boy, did they have their hands full. Building a fort in the 17th century was no walk in the park, especially not in the Florida heat. But Spain was committed. They knew this fort was vital. Let's see what went down. What's coquina, you ask? Is the Castillo's secret weapon. This unique shellstone, found right there on the Florida coast, would make all the difference. Imagine trying to blast cannonballs at a fort that actually absorbs the impact. The Castillo shows the ingenuity of those early builders, using local resources to construct a fortress for the ages. Who needs modern technology when you have coquina? The Castillo wasn't built for show. Imagine being here in 1702, when the Castillo faced its first test. The British were relentless, but the Castillo held strong. Cannon fire echoed, soldiers clashed, yet those coquina walls, they stood firm. Siege after siege, the Castillo faced down every threat. It was a beacon of defiance, a symbol of Spanish resilience in a land constantly under siege. Ahoy, matey! Pirates and privateers roamed these waters, bringing intrigue and adventure. The high seas were full of mystery and danger. Let's set sail and uncover their stories. The high seas were a dangerous place, filled with the promise of adventure and the threat of danger. Pirates roamed the waters, seeking fortune and fame, and their stories have become the stuff of legend. Because, what's a good fort story without a little swashbuckling adventure? Imagine the clash of swords, the roar of cannons, and the thrill of the chase. Pirates were the rock stars of their time, living on the edge and defying the rules. The Caribbean was a hotbed of piracy, and the Castillo was right in the thick of it. This region was a treasure land for pirates, with its numerous islands and hidden coves providing the perfect hideouts. The Castillo de San Marcos was a sentinel, watching over the bustling trade routes and the ever-present threat of pirate attacks. Think daring raids, hidden treasure, and maybe even a pirate or two. Pirates were known for their boldness and cunning, often outsmarting their enemies and making off with valuable loot. The legends of buried treasure and secret maps have captivated imaginations for centuries, adding to the mystique of these seafaring rogues. The line between privateer and pirate was often blurry. Privateers were essentially pirates with a license, authorized by governments to attack enemy ships during wartime. This legal loophole allowed them to operate with a semblance of legitimacy, though their methods were often just as ruthless as those of their pirate counterparts. These legalized pirates operated with the blessing of European powers, adding another layer of complexity to the Castillo's story. The fort had to defend against not only outright pirates, but also these sanctioned marauders who could switch allegiances and turn rogue at any moment. The interplay between pirates, privateers, and the European powers created a dynamic and often volatile environment, making the Castillo a focal point in the struggle for control over the Caribbean. Under new flags, the fort changes hands. After centuries of Spanish rule, Florida and the Castillo eventually passed to British control. The British era brought new strategies, new soldiers, and a different way of life to the fort. The Union Jack flew high, symbolizing a new chapter in the fort's storied past. Later, it became part of the United States. The American flag replaced the British one, marking another significant transition. The fort now stood as a symbol of American resilience and expansion. It played a role in various conflicts, including the Civil War, adapting to the needs of each era. Through it all, the Castillo adapted, its role shifting with the changing tides of history. From a Spanish stronghold to a British bastion, and finally an American fortress, the Castillo de San Marcos has been a silent witness to the unfolding drama of history. Each change brought new challenges, new modifications to the fort's structure, and new chapters to its story. The fort's architecture evolved, integrating new defensive features and the living quarters to accommodate the needs of its new occupants. The walls, once echoing with Spanish commands, now heard English and later American voices. Over the years, the fort changed hands several times. Each transition brought new challenges and stories. The Castillo became a little world of the shifting power process of the North American continent. It is positioned today as a relic of the past and as a mark of resilience and adaptation. Each flag that flew over its defensive walls added a layer to its rich history, making the Castillo de San Marcos a unique historical landmark. Castillo's darker days. Not all days were bright for Castillo. It had its darker days, filled with somber and emotional moments. It was also a jailhouse, housing Native American prisoners of war, including the famous Seminole leader Osceola. This period shows the complex nature of history, where the same walls that offered protection to some brought confinement and hardship to others. Restored to glory. a national monument is born. By the 20th century, the Castillo was showing its age, but people recognized its importance. Eventually, the fort became a national monument, lovingly restored to its former glory. It's a place of pride and nostalgia now. Can you imagine letting this piece of history crumble? Today, the Castillo allows us to connect with the past in a tangible way. Let's celebrate its journey to becoming a cherished landmark. Walking through those ancient archways, you can almost hear the echoes of history. The Castillo is more than just a fort. It's a living museum. It's a mark of history, resilience, and inspiration. Let us reflect on its lasting legacy. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more intriguing travel content.